just started this. You got to remember, we just started to get underway after that safety car. So Ryan is doing everything he possibly can, but I would have to agree with you that I don't think he's on the right strategy unless he expects there to be another safety car. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to come in and box, and he's going to lose a lot of positions because of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have the Breakout Racing League Tier 1 stream up and running again. I do apologize about that. My console randomly decided to do a full factory reset. It only took about 10 minutes. So we're back live now for Formula 1 from Breakout Racing League on our channel. Huge shout out to I'm Rick James for taking over and streaming on his personal file to Twitch. Hopefully we'll be able to break all those apart and then put them together to make one massive file to load onto YouTube. But right now, Ryan leading the race on the medium tire, and most of the drivers behind him are all on, excuse me, the two directly behind him are on hards, but everybody else in the field is on mediums. That's very strange to me. These guys must think that they can make them last a lot longer than what I think they can. Strategy, that's very good. Both of their drivers will be able to do something different. I would think that VRL Prime might want to think about allowing his teammate to get through since he's on that faster compound right now. Allow him to get up there and antagonize the Alfa Romeo in second, possibly antagonize him enough to make a mistake, but we see that the Renault is moving out a little bit to defend from his teammate while he's trying to look and make a move on the Alfa Romeo in front of him. But look at that, you've got Alfa Romeo and then both of the Renaults and then both of the racing teams right there rounding out the top six. So good to see both of the racing teams this week as well. We saw them really back and forth kind of struggle last week. So really good to see them running toward the front, James. fast and consistent that drivers that just make very few mistakes seem to be running in the back way off the pace, which is unfortunate. But it is a huge testament to Courtney Mary's ability that she has been able to get by the BRL champion a few years ago, BRS Ham Newton, and now it seems like she's pulling away on her medium compound as Ham picks up a 3-second time limit. We've seen one get impatient. Aus Formula just about put it in the wall on the exit of Scarry. Both the racing points have made their way past him before they go to defending on the Renault, and the Renault unable to make a pass on Deer Hunter, even though the Renault did have DRS and Deer Hunter did not. So good driving there by Deer Hunter in the racing point as Meanfern picks up a 3-second lead.
At Deer Hunter, this has to be his tire to the end. I don't know how he's going to put these softs on 16 laps, but it's a bold gambit.
To take the soft 16 laps here is kind of a huge deal. They're rated to do from the beginning of the race on the heaviest fuel load about lap 11 or lap 12 is when you want to box and get off of them. So it could go 13 or 14. But I think at 15, you're definitely risking a puncture. So I don't see him making it to the end of the race on that tire. So he's definitely going to have to box again, which is unfortunate because he was one of the cars that I believe would be at the front for this entire race. And then you got number one FinFan, another very fast driver, 11 seconds off of Meanfern in 10th, and he's now entered the pit lanes. He's going to have to get a new set of tires and probably a new front wing and come back out. But looking back up front here at the battle for 4th and 5th, these drivers, you can still cover them under one large blanket. It amazes me that at this racetrack, they're able to run behind each other like this for this prolonged period of time. Aus Formula lost 2 positions to both of the racing points in one straightaway due to his own mistake that he had. But you can see him pushing very hard. He hasn't lost the gearbox of Deer Hunter, but Deer Hunter has lost touch with his teammate. His teammate has pulled away from him, even though his teammate is on the older tires.
3-second time penalty for ERS Ham Newton, and that's not going to be the first one today. He's got 10 laps on those mediums, and he may want to consider coming down pit road. Oz Formula in that Renault, he's got 13 laps of wear on these medium tires as he overtakes Deer Hunter for 5th. Deer Hunter with 3 laps fewer worth of wear. Strategies abound all over the International Monza circuit, Alderfer. Now 8 laps to go, and it's a 3.5 second gap from Ryan to Pirandi. But again, Ryan is on the medium tire. He'll be looking to carry it 18 laps if he doesn't stop before the finish.
Let's not forget that last week was Ryan's biggest nemesis, his last drive for Breakout Racing League Formula One. He had been talking to us for a long time saying that he was thinking about leaving, that he had plans to do. And he actually made last week his official last race for Breakout Racing League. DRC Jared, who was Ryan's biggest competition, is no longer here. So with DRC Jared not being here and Ryan basically being the Lewis Hamilton of this grid and everybody else just about a half a step lower than he is on pace, he might be able to pull this off. He's got a 3.5 second lead right now. If he can keep that with about, I'd say by lap 24, if he can keep that lead of 3.5 or extend it just a little more, he might be good. He might be able to nurse these tires home and take the win of this race.
We'll see if he can get that job done. It would be a wonderful drive for the Kiwi to pull off such a feat. However, behind him in the French entry, BRL Pirandi with the hard tires in the Renault has been locking those fronts headed into the corners. FinFan unfortunately retires from the session, so that leaves 3rd place Chandler Seta as the lone Alfa Romeo. And you see on the bottom of your screen Deer Hunter with a 5-second penalty after a severe collision. Not sure what happened there, Alderfer, but big trouble for these cars.
We were actually watching that on stream because Deer Hunter and the Renault of Oz Formula were battling into the first chicane. Then they battled on the exit. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them, but then I believe the virtual safety car caught Deer Hunter by surprise, and the Renault let off the throttle, which when you do that in one of these cars and the car behind you is on the throttle, it's basically like stamping on the brakes for the car in front. Deer Hunter ran right into the back of him, lost a huge portion of the nose cone, so he is going to have to box for repairs, which is very unfortunate for the Racing Point driver who was doing so well and working so hard. It looks like he's going to try to make a move, but he thinks better of it as Oz Formula has a lockup into Parabolica. On exit, will Deer Hunter go to pit lane? Yes, he does.
Indeed, he does come down pit lane now on the 22nd lap of competition. The gap remains 3.3 seconds. You see a big trail of smoke from Ryan up ahead in that Mercedes. 3.27 out of the first Variante, and a BRL Pirandi closes the gap inch by inch. However, a reminder, Pirandi is on the hard compound, and Hoopalicious gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on fresh, soft tires, Alderfer. You can see he's trying to go for fast lap at this point. It seems like his quest for a podium finish is all but over.
Yeah, his quest for the podium finish is non-existent now, unfortunately, for the Red Bull driver, but he will be able to steal a championship point because he's on that much softer, much faster tire around here. The hard compound tire is about 1.1 seconds slower than the soft compound, as you see just purpled sector 3, but that's not going to give him the fastest lap of the session because that was his out lap. This will, however, most likely be his fastest lap of the session, and that will give him fastest lap of the race, no doubt at all. But looking back up front, NZL Ryan is now starting to struggle. The Kiwi decided to go with the medium tires, but did he decide to do that too early? Should he have gone, as you see him get another big lockup on the right front, should he have gone with the harder tire? Pirandi has made up a second on him over the last 2 laps, and with basically 5 to go now, Ryan is really in a dangerous position. The tires are fading very rapidly now. Pirelli says that they can go 15. I have stretched them out personally to 17 before a puncture, but can Ryan do the same and have enough pace to stay out in front of the Renault, who is definitely on a charge right now, because he has Chandler right behind him charging at him as well, James. BRL Pirandi comes into the Ascari S, and he gets a big snap oversteer there on exit on the curbing, which is very easy to happen, very common to have happen here. It doesn't surprise me at all to see cars getting snap oversteer, but Pirandi coming through Parabolica now gets a good exit. He's doing 170 mile an hour before he gets to that curbing. But look at BRL Williams on the mediums. BRL Williams is on the mediums. He's been on them for just as long as Ryan has, but he is currently catching the 2 cars in front of him, and he is currently faster than the leader.
Indeed, he is 1.4 seconds behind third place Chandler Statham. If we look at the tire data here, there's your detail there on the tire. Williams is on the medium compound with 2 laps fewer wear than Sata up in third. He could be just biding his time, waiting for a mistake. However, he needs to make that move now. He'll have 3 laps remaining when he crosses the line. Meanwhile, the gap between first and second has increased back to 3 seconds, and it seems like now for everyone is committed. Williams, with a 3-second penalty in the 4th position, would see Oz Formula overtake him for 4th. A lockup from the leader into Ascari, and with time ticking down, Alderfer, it's still anyone's game, and there's a big mistake out of the Ascari section. Pirandi nearly lost it. Pardon me.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think Codemasters really needs to work on. You know, we've seen Formula One this year in real life, you know, that they've been looking at track limits a lot more than they have before in recent years. And we've seen them say that the white line at the curbing is basically where you're allowed to be. As long as you have one tire making contact with the racing surface that is over that white line, you are still on the racing surface. It is a legal turn in or a legal exit. However, at this track, I think Codemasters kind of failed us a little bit. There's a lot of places, just like what happened to BRL Williams just now. He went to exit through the second Lesmo, and he got out there on the curbing, had the 2 right-hand tires on the line, but from my point of view, they never actually crossed over the line. I feel like he should not have gotten that penalty, but unfortunately, with Breakout Racing League, unless it is just a completely blatant penalty that you should not deserve, we're most likely not going to overturn it for the stewards' decisions. So that's really unfortunate for BRL Williams, because he is still continually gaining on the 2 cars in front of them. Ever so slowly, he keeps edging into that gap.
Yellow flag out there.
Back up.
Sorry to cut you off there, Oliver, just some action there out there on the track. Not sure if it was Deer Hunter or Hoopalicious, but both of those drivers now going for fastest lap, with Deer Hunter on the soft tire. NZL Ryan's lead has been cut to 2 1/2 seconds with just 2 laps remaining.
Yeah, he's got 2.5 second gap right now. Is that enough is my biggest question, Rick. Can he keep a decent amount of time between he and Pirandi? He's got a 2.3 second lead now as he exits the chicane, and now it climbs to 2.6 as it looks like Pirandi might have struggled a little bit on exit. He's been on these hard compound tires now for 19 laps, which is not really a huge stretch for that tire. It can easily do this entire race. That tire can, if you could, if the FIA would allow that. But unfortunately they don't, so you have to make a stop. But it doesn't surprise me that BRL Pirandi still has good pace on that tire, but I think it might be too little too late. You see he's now 2.2 seconds to NZL Ryan, as Ryan just made a mistake on the exit of the second Lesmo. Is Chandler going to try to make a move? He has a little bit more battery life for ERS that he can deploy. He's got a little bit more than BRL Pirandi, so we're going to stay here for this battle for second. The podium will be decided on this final lap, because I feel like Chandler's going to try to throw it down here into the first chicane. We'll ride on board with him as he exits Parabolica. He's going to get in behind the Renault, try to get as much slipstream as possible. He's got overtake on. He now opens DRS. Has he timed this perfectly? He's going to go to driver's right to try to get by. Did he make it before they get to the braking zone? He gets a little bit of a lockup, but he is in front of the Renault with a beautiful move to promote himself up into P2. And now he is only 1.7 seconds behind Ryan. Ryan made a huge mistake in the chicane somewhere, but Ryan looks like he's on par to win this race. We're going to follow this battle for P2 all the way to the end. You see Chandler and Pirani have just gone through the second variant chicane as they go into the first Lesmo now. They'll exit with Pirani right on the gearbox. Is Pirani now close enough that he can make a move on this DRS straight? He just turned on the DRS and he turned on overtake. Can he get close enough? I don't think he can. He does not have enough speed in the car to make the move into the Ascari chicane. So now it's going to be a drag race down this long back straightaway as there are now 1.3 seconds behind Ryan. Ryan cannot make any mistakes on the exit of Parabolica or it will see him down the podium. They go into Parabolica. All three of our podium drivers can be covered under one large second-and-a-half blanket, but Ryan is going to cross the line. He makes the tires last, and he will take the win here at the Monza GP. Chandler Sieta will come through in second with BRL Pirani right on the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo for third. Aus Formula will jump BRL Williams due to penalties, and ERS Ham. That's a glitch. There's no way he won this race. That's such a glitch. But Beedunk will bring it home for McLaren in 7th. Mean Fern will bring it back for AlphaTauri in 8th. Not a great showing for AlphaTauri today. But RBM Mary, who started this race deep in the field and then fell all the way back to last, has made her way back up into 9th to score some points today. And Deer Hunter able to come home with the last championship point, and Hoopalicious is still trying to finish this race in that Red Bull on his soft compound tires that he tried setting the fastest lap of the race on. I'm not sure who did get fastest lap of the race. We'll have to look as this session ends, and he's going to slam it into the wall. But that was I was gone for a little portion of this race just due to my console having its issues there, James. But this seems like it was a pretty great race today with quite a bit of action, a lot of strategy compounding the outcome of this race.
Again, looking at the visual glitch there, you see ERS Ham Newton, his character getting the trophy. Not sure what happened there, but we'll see the race results at the end. A good showing overall, not only for the Kiwi Ryan in the Mercedes. I'm genuinely looking at the leaderboard here, and again it says Ryan is scored in second place, so fans at home not sure exactly what went on there, but Ryan should be scored as your winner. Chandler Seta in second place, BRL Pirani coming home in third. I was most impressed, Alderfer, by RBM Mary and the resilience that saw her finish 9th after last week's debacle in Belgium.
Well, she had great pace at Belgium. She just had that one little mistake that sent her all the way to the back. I'm really, really happy that she came back today with confidence to the Monza circuit and was able to put that car in a decent qualifying position. But then she did have that issue midway through that dropped her all the way to the back. But she clawed her way back through up to 9th. So a great drive by the Ferrari driver. It showed ERS Ham Newton as our driver of the day, and it has glitched out that he has the fastest lap. But I'm going to have to say Mean Fern is going to be my driver of the day. Started 12th in this race and wound up in 8th. He had the most positions gained from the start, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it to Mean Fern today. Mean Fern had a great showing in the AlphaTauri. Didn't really talk about him much because he was running by himself most of the race. But in my opinion, Mean Fern did very well tonight. Kept very good control of his car. Kept the nose clean. The biggest loser is going to be Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter running up front, battling for position with the Renault, and then the virtual safety car came out. And Deer Hunter, I guess, didn't see it, or Aus Formula just slammed on the brakes in front of him. Deer Hunter, with nowhere to go, picked up a massive time penalty and also lost a massive amount of the nose cone. So unfortunate for him, but I believe next week, whenever we go excuse me, to Singapore, we're going to see a completely different style of race. We know that Singapore is one of the hardest races all year long, but for these drivers that we have, I think it's really going to shake up the grid quite considerably because it's such a different track than what we're used to in Formula One, wouldn't you say?
100%. It's a track that's based on more with high downforce and a lot of handling in mind as opposed to top speed.
Well, we are going to do away with the podium interviews for tonight, but congratulations to Ryan and Perandi and BRL Williams, I believe was Chandler Sieta, our podium finishers. We do apologize for the issue. For some reason, my console randomly decided that it wanted to do a full factory reset after qualifying was over. So I apologize that portion of the stream was lost, but it will end. We have solved the issue now. So everybody, please have a great week. Have a good Sunday, and we hope to see all of you back next week, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S. for Breakout Racing League's Formula One